everybody. Welcome to a RedRaiders.com postgame show. I'm Don Williams alongside Carlos Silva Jr. from the Avalanche-Journal media, coming to you after Texas Tech's 27-3 loss to number 11 TCU on Saturday. It was the Red Raiders' home finale. We'll give you all the details, but right now, a word from our sponsor, University Medical Center. Back on the RedRaiders.com postgame show, brought to you by University Medical Center. Don Williams and Carlos Silva Jr. from the Avalanche-Journal with you on Saturday afternoon after Texas Tech loses 27-3 to number 11 TCU. And Red Raiders wanted to send their seniors out the right way in the final home game, Carlos, but it doesn't happen today.
Didn't happen, and the tough part is the offense just was struggling today. Weren't able to get any points on the board. They did get a field goal, but that was one of three that Clayton Hatfield was able to make. There was one, I believe it was about 20 yards, that he kind of just hooked to the left, and that was just kind of the way things have gone throughout the season and the way things went today, Don. And I think that was really kind of the momentum changer, was the fact that they weren't able to make some field goals. TCU took advantage of those opportunities, scored there, but I think the biggest one was about with 7:11 left in the third quarter. Justice Parker forces the fumble. They get the Vontae Dorsey fumble recovery at the 6. Texas Tech's offense isn't able to really muster anything up. In about 3 plays, they go 4 yards, and then they miss that field goal, and then TCU goes and scores. And I think that was the difference in this one.
Yeah, miss a field goal from 19 yards as that old bugaboo bites Texas Tech again this afternoon. And we talked about going into this game, Carlos. This was a game that, I started to say set up for Texas Tech to win. Yeah. Well, not necessarily, because TCU is a better team, but yes. TCU is fighting with key men down. Kenny Hill, TCU senior quarterback, not playing today. Sean Robinson, true freshman from DeSoto, making his first career start. It's actually the first time that Gary Patterson has started a true freshman. Pardon me, it's the first time that Gary Patterson has started a true freshman, period. Last time it happened with TCU was in 1999. And Traven Howard, who's been TCU's leading tackler forever, last 3 years, middle linebacker, he doesn't play today. He was not in uniform. We were actually walking up the tunnel behind him. They also had a safety out. And so if you're thinking, okay, if you're going to get it done, it's set up for you to do it today. The game starts favorably enough with the Red Raiders taking the ball in one of the, strangest drives I've ever seen, from the standpoint that Texas Tech kept it for 21 plays. And I was asking Matt Dowdy, the Texas Tech media relations director, Tech's first 21-play drive since when. He doesn't know. Forever. And longest yards on that series, I believe, were 7. And then Tech can't punch it in, has to settle for a field goal. You get 3. And then that's it for your offense for the day.
Not only that, but then you wasted 2 timeouts early on. Now, I don't know how much that would have affected them a little bit later in that half, but the fact that you're going 21 plays, I believe it was about 7 minutes or 8-minute drive, and then after that, the offense didn't really do much. I believe they had 70 yards on that 21-play drive, and after that, I want to say it was about 46 going after that. So certainly the offense was just not clicking today, especially with Nick Shimanek, 17 of 33 and only about 137 yards.
Wind was a big factor today. It hasn't really been that much this season, but today you wake up and you can hear, the first thing you hear, I heard this morning, was the wind howling outside. It was blowing 20 to 30 miles an hour during the game. It was gusting into the 40s. And, the bizarre thing is when Texas Tech had the wind in the second quarter and the third quarter, the offense couldn't do a thing. Those 2 quarters, Texas Tech ran 52 plays for 172 yards. So about 3.5 yards per play when you had the wind behind you. This was just a game that, Carlos, you haven't been here quite as long as I have.
No,
Texas Tech fans have a slogan, motto for days like today. They call it typical Tech, where the game is kind of there for your taking, as it was really through 3 quarters today. And you have things like Octavius Morgan has an interception hit him in the hands, drops it. You have you have the 40-mile-an-hour wind at your back, and you can't do anything. It's like you're going into the wind. You have these failures to convert in the red zone. Tech today 6 possessions, 6 separate possessions where you had the ball inside TCU's 30, and you get a field goal. let's see, field goal. This is awkward.
Yeah, no, it's all good. They got a field goal, but the important thing to
Dude,
kind of remind people.
pardon me. A field goal, two missed field goals,
Mm-hmm.
2 turnovers, and a turnover and downs at the end.
Yeah, correct. And like I said, it was just an inability to just kind of get things going because they actually had some plays, and even the late interception that Nick Shimonek had drove them to the 11. It looked like everything was good, and kind of like what Sean Robinson did, where you mentioned the Octavius Morgan interception, threw it a little bit behind Dylan Cantrell, and that allowed Gladney to get the interception return, which wasn't an interception return up for a little bit because he kind of dropped the ball before, but then he recovered it. They were able to get that, and that was really kind of the nail in the coffin, so to speak, for that potential Tech drive, because they could have gotten that to about 20-10 at that point, and then you never know at that point. And then even before that, you could have tied it up. As I mentioned before, the defense gets a stop, get the forced fumble, recover the fumble. They weren't able to get a touchdown, and that really kind of changed things there.
So this knocks Texas Tech back to 5-6, 2-6 in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing to mention: Justin Stockton returns to the lineup today. He had missed 2 of the previous 3 games. He carries it 21 times, career high, 124 yards as his 5th career 100-yard game. He was kind of his carries, I think, were ramped up because Trey King had a short day today. Trey King, remember, came out of the Baylor game last week with lower leg injury in the 4th quarter, and then he carries twice on the first series today. Comes out of the game, you don't see him again. Shoulder injury, sound like, for Trey King, and so he's, I guess, you monitor him day to day as you go down to Texas for the regular season finale.
Absolutely, and then of course the Texas game is at 7 p.m. November 24th, the near Thanksgiving game, so we'll see what Texas Tech is able to do there. But the one thing you have to like about what Justin Stockton was able to do with those 21 carries, he averaged about 5.9 yards a carry, so he was very effective, whether it was going in between the tackles or going outside, which is what he's typically done because of his speed. But then you also saw DeMarcus Felton carried it 5 times, 25 yards. It was very effective, had 5 yards each time, so you're getting yourself in at least second and short. The big important thing that Cliff Kingsbury talked about in his postgame was they were in a lot of 3rd and longs, and that's what really hurt them.
A lot of calls for Nick Shimonek to go to the bench today. We asked Cliff Kingsbury about that. He said he didn't feel like Nick Shimonek has played poorly the last several weeks,
just
even though the offense has struggled.
Yeah, just misses chances in some cases. I know there were a couple times where he saw T.J. Vash with one-on-one coverage, which we expected with the type of defense TCU had, and he just missed him a couple times.
We also asked Cliff Kingsbury about how much job security he felt, if any, and he said all he's thinking about right now is the Texas game, trying to get a win, trying to get a bowl, trying to become bowl eligible, and trying to get the seniors and the team one more game beyond Friday night in Austin.
Well, certainly that's what Texas Tech and the players are looking to do, but now Texas Tech is going to play a Texas team that actually got an upset over West Virginia, so they're not looking to kind of go into this game with bowl eligible or trying to get bowl eligible. They obviously already are bowl eligible, and now they're just trying to send their seniors off on a good note as well.
So again, final today from Jones Stadium, Texas Tech losing 27-3 to TCU. Last time, it's the fewest points that the Red Raiders have scored at home since 2000 against the number 1 ranked Nebraska team, and it's the first time that they have gone without an offensive touchdown since the 2011 66-6 disaster against Oklahoma State. So we don't have a lot of offense to write about, Carlos, but still plenty to write about. Correct. We're about to get back to cranking on columns, which you can read on RedRaiders.com and LubbockOnline.com, and we'll have full coverage of next week's activities leading up to Friday night's game in Austin, which will be the season finale, the regular season finale. We'll find out if it's the season finale also. For our engineer-producer, Brad Tollefson, for Carlos Silva Jr., I'm Don Williams from the Avalanche-Journal. We appreciate you listening in for another RedRaiders.com postgame show brought to you by University Medical Center. Talk to you again soon.